Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a first impression mini review of the new Tom Ford fragrance Cafe Rose. This baby just hit the shelves literally 2 days ago and I ran out as soon as I saw that they had it available at Macy's. It's one of the perks of living in South Florida is for some reason we seem to get things a little bit sooner than everyone else. So I was very lucky to find it a few days ago and I got to wear it over the last couple days and I have some thoughts that I want to share with you guys. So if you didn't know already, Cafe Rose was a fragrance that was a part of the private collection. It came out in 2012. I believe it was discontinued in 2016. And this new release is not part of the private line. It's a whole new bottle design, kind of a different take, and it's not the same fragrance as well. I think that some people are expecting it to smell like the old Cafe Rose, but it does not. The biggest thing that is kind of building a little bit of, at least for me, what really intrigued me about this is seeing the new price point of this fragrance. You guys know Tom Ford is a house that does not mess around with their prices generally. It is considered very overpriced. It's not a house that you want to pay retail for. It's a house that you try to find on discounters because the bottles cost a lot of money. I saw bottles of the old Cafe Rose going for anywhere from like $400 to almost $500. So some of the prices are just really, really steep. What really drew my attention to this one was the price point. The 1.7 ounce bottle, 50 ml bottle is going for $155 and 100 ml, I believe, for $220 or $225. So wow. Crazy price decrease. I'm very happy with the direction that Tom Ford seems to be going with their new releases with their pricing. So I think that in the designer world, and you guys know I've talked about this quite a few times already, that designer prices are taking a turn for the absolute worst, crazy overpriced. So to see this priced pretty reasonably, in my opinion, I'm very happy to see it. This is what the new bottle looks like. It's kind of like this textured, kind of, I wouldn't call it frosted, but for the sake of using a word, we'll say frosted design. This kind of purpley rose gold. I like the color. I think it does perfectly describe the scent as well, because I think that this is a unisex scent. I think that this is for a man or for a woman, and I think the color kind of pulls that way. Purple, it's unisex, but it's also a very regal scent. So I think that they did a great job picking the color, and also it's kind of a play on the old color of the sticker on the private collection, which was purple. But it kind of has this old school kind of vibe going on with this bottle design. I'm not sure if I particularly love it, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But let's talk about the scent a little bit. I'm gonna spray it on the back of my hand and on the test strip as well. So pretty simple note breakdown in this one. Turkish rose, we have coffee. That's kind of what I think a lot of people are really excited about, is the coffee notes. With Bulgarian rose, some patchouli, some cardamom, little interesting spice added. With ylang ylang, frankincense, some coriander, and some sandalwood in the base. Pretty simple. It opens very fresh in the top. There's almost, you definitely get this kind of like citrusy opening. Even though there are no citruses listed, I think it could be coming from the ylang ylang possibly, but there's definitely a very citric, fresh blast in the opening of this. But at the same time, there are some of those darker elements. You get that kind of like incensey, kind of herbal vibes going on from the patchouli and the frankincense for sure. And the cardamom is very smooth and creamy, and the sandalwood as well adds some creaminess. So, is there any coffee? This is the $1,000,000 question. I don't really smell any coffee. Maybe in the opening there is just this very subtle, I don't even want to say bitterness, because it's not really bitter, but maybe far away in the background of this fragrance there is something kind of resembling a coffee note. So just off of that, honestly, this fragrance was a little bit of a letdown for me, because you guys know I love coffee so much, and the thought of a rose coffee combination, like the notes in this just sound amazing. If the coffee was amped up a little bit more, I know that it would just be like one of my instant signature scents, because I love anything with coffee mixed with some beautiful florals and cardamom. It's a winner for me, but there's just there's no coffee in this. You don't really get it. And I know that some people complained that the original Cafe Rose was a little too rosy, maybe leaning a little feminine. If you thought that, you will love this one. This one is not too over the top rosy. This one is 100% unisex. This is a beautiful, beautiful rose scent for a man. There's something kind of metallic about it in the opening as well. And like I said, there is a subtle herbalness and spice coming from the coriander and the patchouli. I think that the men that are watching me, and women as well, but just speaking for men that might be curious, like, is this a rose fragrance that I could wear? If you are a man that loves to wear black orchid, you will adore this scent. This one will be right up your alley. I feel like it's the same use of patchouli in both of them. So you're going to feel something kind of familiar with black orchid when you smell this. But the fragrance starts to take a little bit of a turn as it dries, especially on the skin. As it starts to kind of go down into the mid, that ylang ylang comes out, and it's not like a tropical ylang ylang, like a very suntan lotiony, you're laying on the beach kind of like tropical floral. It turns in a soapy direction that is not my favorite thing on earth. It's just very conflicting. It's kind of like black orchid, I think, for a lot of people. When they first smell it, they're kind of conflicted by it, because there is a very dark and sensual aspect about this that is so sexy. There is something about this that is so like it is the ultimate femme fatale kind of scent. There's something very mysterious and alluring and dark about this, but at the same time, it's very crisp and very clean. And as it dries, for me, it just keeps getting more soapy on my skin. It gets to a point in the mid where I almost can't stand it. It's so soapy, but it does go away as it dries down even more. When it gets into the final stages of the fragrance, as it dries down, that soapiness kind of like lightens up a little, and it goes back to that subtle, dark, mysterious rose scent. But sadly, once again, I have worn this on my skin a couple times in the last couple days, and I don't get any coffee. It's really heartbreaking. It's really sad. I was really looking forward to like a coffee cardamom rose combination, but this just doesn't do it for me. But yes, there's definitely something very sensual about this. People that love black orchid are going to really love this one. And if black orchid is a little too much for you, I think you'll also like this, because it's not as challenging as black orchid. It's not as like out there in terms of the notes and the twists and turns that fragrance takes. This one for me is a little more linear, fresh and clean, but at the same time, a dark, mysterious rose. It's really like a conundrum in a fragrance. Like, it just is blowing my mind in all sorts of crazy ways. I do think that people are going to be a little disappointed by this, especially if you were expecting a strong blast of coffee like me. If we're going to talk about performance, which is another aspect, for the first 2 hours, I got a great scent bubble, very strong, projecting, but then right after about that 2-hour mark, really comes close to the skin, which isn't necessarily a problem, especially if you want to use it as what I think it is designed to be, which is a very dark, mysterious, sensual kind of date night fragrance for a woman, and just a very elegant, event-worthy, occasion-worthy fragrance for a man. But on my skin, I only got about 5 to 6 hours on the skin. After that 2-hour mark, it comes close to the skin, and then after about the 6-hour mark, it really is very, very soft, like just barely there, which is kind of sad, but I think it's kind of a theme in these clear bottles with Tom Ford, is just they're not going to be performance beasts. So that might be a problem for you, but it might not, because the performance of this isn't bad. It's not like a just unusable scent, you know what I mean? It's not something that you're going to spray on and then it's going to immediately go away. You will get some good wear out of this. And I still need to do more testing, of course. Like I said, I've only worn this a couple times, a handful of times, so I need to keep testing it and give you guys my updated thoughts. But my initial testing, the performance is just okay. Nothing amazing, nothing beast mode, but okay, which I think will work for a lot of people. So I guess my final thoughts on this, I love the scent, I really do. I think it's very sexy and kind of like a vixen fragrance, femme fatale, very elegant for a man as well. I really appreciate that Tom Ford is putting out something that is 100% unisex. I think that Tom Ford does it better than anyone else when it comes to these beautiful, sexy, oriental, dark, unisex fragrances. Although it doesn't perform the best, I think that it will get the job done on a date night or an event or something where you just need to smell elegant and beautiful, but I think that it is definitely worth trying. It seems to be a very anticipated release for a lot of people. They loved Cafe Rose before it was discontinued, and they want to try the new take on Cafe Rose, the 2023 release. So make sure to get out there, go out to your local Macy's, see if they have it. I heard some people saying that they saw it at Sephora as well. Get out there, get your nose on it. Not blind buy safe. Even for the price being low, it's still not the most affordable fragrance on the planet, so I would not recommend going out and blind buying this. So definitely get out and try it in store, and I hope that you guys love it. Just don't expect there to be a lot of coffee, because you will have your heart severely broken. So that is my video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.